Hey guys, welcome to the 45th Annual Awkward L. Edwards Conference, the longest running event at the Ross School of Business. Dr. Edwards is a prominent professor at school known for his mentorship and guidance to the underrepresented minorities at school. I'm Ryan Bernard, an MBA 2, initially hailing from Rockville, Maryland. At school, I'm focused on finance, but normally you can find me in downtown Ann Arbor at Aventura, enjoying a big plate of paella.
Hi, my name is Kalani Abbey, and I'm originally from Prince George's County, Maryland. At Ross, I'm focused on consulting, and I'm also an MBA too. Pre-COVID, you could have found me on top of the Ross bus, our tailgate, dancing my life away. But now you can find me on a Zoom screen near you, doing the same. One of my favorite parts about being at Ross is being surrounded by people that both drive you crazy, but also drive you to success.
How's everybody doing? My name is Kenya Nora, an MBA 2, born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina. Here at Ross, I'm focused on entrepreneurship and VC. But normally, you can find me in the gym, getting my weight up, or at the bus, sporting my famous maize and blue wig, on the golf course, getting my Tiger Woods on. And we are your ALE co-chairs. This year's ALE theme is the uprising, reclaiming Black voices in business and society.
With the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on Black communities and the heightened racial injustice towards Black bodies, now more than ever, it's time to rise up and reclaim the prominence of Blackness in the broader business world and society.
For too long, too many entities and their leaders have sat on the sidelines and casually benefited from the systems that further perpetuate the disenfranchisement of Black people, but no more. I hope to use ALE 45 as a forum to discuss these pertinent topics. We plan to talk through the intersection of race, policy, and business, and how the Black community can reshape itself in ways that weren't possible before. With our keynote tonight with Angela Rye, as well as talks tomorrow with community, policy, and business leaders, our goal is to shed more light on the plight of Black America and the levers individuals like yourself and organizations can pull to not only maximize their role in the proliferation of Black success, but to contribute to the elevation of us all.
The detrimental effects of both the pandemic and racial injustice have quite literally and figuratively set our country ablaze. Communities, specifically Black ones, have been burnt to the ground and continuously left behind. But just like a phoenix rising from the ashes, we too will rise and reclaim our space in this country we collectively built. Now, I hope you guys have your bingo cards ready, because the first password is the uprising.
We're excited to bring you a great weekend of events, starting with our keynote tonight, panels tomorrow across entrepreneurship, healthcare, policy, and finance, a presentation from the Marcus Collins, and our first ever DJ Versus. But of course, none of this would be possible without the support of the Ross School of Business and its leader, Dean Scott DeRue. So over to him for a formal address.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Good evening, and welcome to the 45th Annual ALE Conference. My name is Whitney Pollard, and I'm an MBA 1, and I have the pleasure of introducing our Dean of the Ross School of Business, Dean Scott DeRue. Scott DeRue is the Edward J. Frey Dean of the Stephen M. Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan. He is also the Stephen M. Ross Professor of Business. Scott joined Michigan Ross in 2007. Taken on multiple leadership roles across the school over time. Prior to his deanship, Dean DeRue served as the Associate Dean for the Executive Education, Professor of Management, Director of the Sanger Leadership Center, and the Faculty Director of the Emerging Leaders Program. Scott has been named among the 50th most influential business professors in the world for his work on leadership, team performance, talent management, and organizational transformation. His book, Experience-Driven Leader Development, provides organizations with the strategies and tactics for developing leadership talent in the new world of work. And his award-winning research has been published in top academic journals. Scott's work is frequently featured in the media, and he often speaks and consults for organizations that span 5 continents, including Fortune 100 companies, startups, championing winning sports teams, and government agencies. Scott is an accomplished adventurer and mountaineer with many successful summits. He has also led the University of Michigan students and alumni to the highest point in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro. Earlier in his career, Scott worked in the private equity and management consulting. He received his PhD in management from Michigan State University, where he was awarded a University Distinguished Fellowship. He also earned his Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Without further ado, I welcome to the stage, the virtual stage, Dean Scott Deroux.
Thank you, Whitney, and I am thrilled to be here. For those that do not know, Whitney deserves a big congratulations as she was recently elected by her peers to represent Ross MBAs as their president. And I'm very much looking forward to working with Whitney. So let's all give Whitney a big round of applause and express our appreciation and gratitude for her stepping up into this leadership role. I want to begin by thanking the BBSA for their leadership and commitment to carrying forward the legacy of Dr. Alfred L. Edwards and the ALE conference. For those that may not know Dr. Edwards, he was among the most esteemed faculty at the University of Michigan. He was a thought leader and he was a mentor to many. The quote that's often played and replayed of Dr. Edwards is one of my favorites. It reads, "We must make sure that the doors that were open for us do not become closed for others." And it's in this spirit that we come together as a community every year for the ALE conference. And this year, as noted earlier, it's the 45th year of the ALE conference. It is one of the longest, it is the longest running conference in Ross School history, something that we are all exceptionally proud of. And over these many years, the conference has become a place for our community to engage in the issues, the challenges, the opportunities for underrepresented minorities in business, and giving us a space to dialogue and discourse and just have really important conversations around these issues. And as a leading university, as a leading business school, in my opinion, we have an opportunity and we have a responsibility to build a more diverse and inclusive leadership pipeline in business. It's not only the right thing to do, but my research and the research of many others around the world shows that it's also good business. And it has to start with each and every one of us. There is, in my opinion, potentially no greater or more important issue for leaders in business, leaders in education, than doing everything we can to build a more diverse and inclusive talent pipeline in organizations and building more diverse and inclusive organizations where every voice, to the theme of this conference, matters. Okay, we know that creating a more diverse and inclusive community, especially in our educational institutions, business schools and beyond, is essential to creating equity in opportunity, which in turn promotes greater economic progress in our society, as well as greater social mobility in our society. And it's why I'm so proud of the progress that we have made and continue to fight for in terms of, for example, first-generation college students, which on the University of Michigan campus, undergraduates, about 1 out of 7 now. It's why I'm proud of the progress we're making in terms of representation of underrepresented minorities, gender. The more diverse our community is on every possible dimension, every possible background, the better learning institution we are. And that's true for our students, it's true for our staff, it's true for our faculty, and therefore our alumni and all our partners around the world. And notwithstanding the progress that we've made to date, I also know, and we know, that we have much more work to do. And it's with this in mind that the ALE conference, as you know, the ALE conference has a different theme each and every year. And when I saw this year's theme, Reclaiming Black Voices in Business and in Society, I was inspired. It's the same motivation that led us last year to dedicate this year's Business and Society series to issues of race and business, is how do we reclaim, how do we amplify Black voices in business and society? And so I want all of you to know, and especially the conference organizers, to know how grateful I am that you are dedicating this moment to the movement okay? Because this cannot be just a flashing moment, okay? The ALE conference will come and go, but our work has to be a movement that is sustained over time, that we are deeply committed to. And we are deeply committed to ensuring that everyone's voice, and especially those voices that have been marginalized, have a place both in business and society. And so I'm really inspired by this year's conference and the theme that you all have chosen. And what gives me hope that we will make progress in this really important work is knowing that we are in this movement together. Last summer, our BBSA had the courage and the thoughtfulness and the foresight to formulate their BBSA call to action. And if you haven't seen it, check out our website. It's still on the website. Our BBAA, our alumni from the BBSA, did the same. And importantly, together we engaged, we discussed, and we aligned on priorities. And I'm grateful to work with these students and our alumni leaders. Proud to stand beside them, proud to stand beside all of you in our shared commitment to these goals. I'm also bolstered with hope, okay? I'm bolstered with hope knowing that we have leaders in our community, much like Dr. Edwards did many years ago, who are committed to working with us and creating a legacy of their own. One of those leaders who recently passed away, that some of you may have known, many of you probably did not, was Dr. Frank Yates. And for our faculty and our students and our staff who are joining this evening, you received an announcement from me earlier today. And we will memorialize Dr. Yates's legacy, much like this conference memorializes Dr. Edwards' legacy, with the award that I announced earlier today, the Frank Yates Diversity and Inclusion Teaching Excellence Award, which will be one of the major awards and milestones for faculty here at the Ross School forever. And I was so proud to announce that award. I knew Frank quite well, and the impact that he had on this university, and in particular with regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion over a approximately 50-year career was amazing. Okay. Within minutes of me announcing that award today, I had Ross faculty emailing me, committing their own donations to support that award. That's the type of community that we're in. So when you have any moments of doubt that your voice matters, any moments of doubt that your actions have an impact, never forget the legacy of folks like Dr. Edwards. Never forget the legacy of folks like Dr. Yates. Your voice and your actions, they do matter. And you have the opportunity to create and to leave a legacy that lives on for generations and benefits the generations that come after us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful ALE conference. I wish we were all together. I miss all of you. Whitney, thank you for the opportunity to speak briefly as part of the conference. It's truly one of my favorite events and moments of the year. And now I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Dean DeRue. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your time. We will now transition to the keynote with Angela Rye, moderated by our own Kalani Abbey. You can exit this Zoom, and on your agenda, you will find the new link. See you in the next room. Bye.